This is my latest email newsletter update going out on Friday the 18th of October. I do these updates regularly for residents of Mytchett, Frimley, Green and Deepcut, so they're quite used to these. But also temporarily I'm doing an update for Camberley West, where my good friend Councillor David Lewis is poorly at the moment and undergoing treatment, so I'm looking after his casework. I'll update residents of Camberley West first in this update. So obviously Camberley West not being an area that I know very well, I have taken it upon myself to meet with the community link officer who has been assigned to Camberley West, in particular the St Michael's area of Camberley West. And the community link officer is helping me get up to speed with all the local issues over there. I have met with her online, and we are going to be doing a walking tour around the division of Camberley West so that I can get fully up to speed. But also today, actually, when this newsletter goes out, I will be meeting with ward councillors for St Michael's to discuss any sort of urgent issues, and no doubt they'll bring me up to speed on those. So as soon as I have more information, I will report back. But can I just say to residents of Camberley West, if you have any local issues that you want me to look at, do get in touch, do email me. I'll happily look into those matters for you. So now to Frimley Green, and in my last update I did ask residents to let me know what they thought of proposals in respect of the new roundabout and traffic mitigation measures that are going to be installed in Frimley Green in due course. And I wanted some feedback about the grass verge that they're thinking about installing just by Boots the chemist there. And actually I have to say I've been quite surprised, as I often am with these things, by the response that I've received from local residents. It's been very mixed actually. But in the main, most residents seem quite supportive of the idea because of it may help to stop traffic getting held up when vehicles are turning right to go and park outside the chemist. Anyway, that is something that is not cast in stone. I said that I would feed back to highways officers what residents had to say on this. And as things develop, I will of course keep residents informed. But if you are one of the many residents who has been in contact with me about that call to action last week, thank you for getting in touch and being so free with your views. It is really helpful. The south of Deepcut village now, and I reported last week some good news in that I'd managed to work with Carla Holmes, the developer of phase 1 at Mindenhurst, to get the drop curbs sorted that lead onto the sands there from phase 1. They didn't have a date of when they were going to sort that, but they've now come back to me and confirmed that that should be towards the end of October, which is great. So just wanted to update that by the end of this month, hopefully those drop curbs should be installed, which will make it much easier for residents with mobility issues to get onto the sands and enjoy the sands like everyone else does. So really good news, and another one off the list. Work seems to be going at pace on the SFA, so the Service Families area of Deepcut in the north of the village. Fencing has been erected all around the properties that are going to be refurbished or demolished and rebuilt. So not a massive amount to report on that, but yeah, the work is ongoing. And all I would encourage local residents who perhaps have young people in their households, just to encourage those young people to stay away from that area. It will become a very active building site very soon, and therefore will be very dangerous. I think that the developer's done a great job. Annington Homes has done a great job in, putting that fencing and barriers up, but there's only so much they can do. And of course, if somebody's determined to get over those fences, they will. But if you could just warn your young people about the dangers, we don't want any adverse incidents. To Mytchett now, and some quite concerning antisocial behaviour that has been targeting a local business, a well-known local business, but also it would seem, and I don't know if the two are related, I don't know if it's the same people involved, but also some knock a door run that is been quite scary. So instead of just knocking on the door and running off, they're knocking on windows, and in one particular case has terrified some young children. So I am concerned about the antisocial behaviour, because one particular element of it is escalating into something that, if is unchecked, could develop into something quite sinister. So I have today written to the Borough Commander at Surrey Police for Surrey Heath, and asked her to look into this, because we do need to try and identify the young people involved in this so they can be given suitable words of advice. Listen, as kids, we all have done silly things. No one worse than me when I was a young person. But, sometimes these people need to be given good words of advice before it gets out of hand. So I have asked the Borough Commander at Surrey Police to look into this. And if there's any, hopefully there'll be nothing else to update in the future. Hopefully won't ever have to revisit this again, and this is nipped in the bud. But if there are any other developments, I will of course update local residents. I do have a little update regarding the antisocial behaviour in Mytchett. I'm pleased to say that the Borough Commander responded to my email in less than an hour and a half, very positively, and has confirmed to me that she is on the case and is allocating a member of her team to look into the matter, investigate further. I think my appeal to local residents actually is, if you spot any antisocial behaviour whatsoever, to make sure that you report that on 101 as soon as it happens. Try to get good descriptions of the people involved, what they're wearing, what they're doing, and what they look like. And that way, that might help the police identify these individuals quickly, so that they can go and pay them a visit and offer suitable words of advice. If you capture anything on your doorbell cameras or your security cameras, make sure you keep that safe so that we can pass that on to the police should it be necessary. But I think one of the things that makes us much stronger as a community is when we look out for each other. So remain vigilant. Right now, this is relatively low level, as far as the police are concerned. But we all know that these things can escalate out of control if left unchecked. So it's really important that if you spot anything, keep an eye out for your neighbours, keep an eye out for each other, and make sure that you report anything to Surrey Police on 101, or if you prefer, Surrey Heath Beat, which is a fantastic local Facebook page run by Surrey Police in the Surrey Heath area. You can send them a direct message on the Facebook page, and someone monitors that and we'll get back to you. But let's get this issue nipped in the bud as quickly as we can by keeping a good lookout for each other and remaining vigilant and reporting anything that happens when it happens. Now to one of my favourite places on this planet, which is the Basingstoke Canal. Anyone who follows my social media will know that I spend a lot of time on the Basingstoke Canal for pleasure and for commuting purposes, and it is my happy place, I have to say. Now, one thing that has been dragging on a little bit is the resurfacing of the towpath. I have reported in the past that funding has been found in order to resurface the towpath from Deepcut to Pirbright, the bit just before the ranges there, the service families area in Pirbright, which is great news for commuters and for local residents who may have accessibility issues and may want to still enjoy the canal, which for some people is not possible right now. But funding has been found to resurface the towpath. But that project has been delayed for several reasons, mainly because of environmental factors. The Basingstoke Canal, or parts of it, are SSSI, which stands for Special Site of Scientific Interest. And of course, when you are dealing with a very sensitive ecosystem like the Basingstoke Canal, all sorts of mitigation measures have to be put in order to do any kind of work there, construction work or whatever. So just to update residents that they are looking, hopefully, to get the planning permission to do this work very soon. And once that planning permission has been granted, then hopefully they'll be able to start work. They're looking towards, I think, towards the end of the first quarter of next year for work to start. Of course, I will keep residents fully informed about what's going on there. There are all sorts of other factors they have to take into consideration, like bird nesting season and so on. You know, it is a very delicate ecosystem there, and of course we want them to do it right and not interfere with any of the wildlife or cause any other environmental issues. So, but I will keep residents updated on the progress of this project. It is very exciting, but it has to be done right. So I am not putting them under any pressure whatsoever in order to get this work done. I think residents will support me in that. You know, we just want them to do it right and in the most sensitive way possible. And I am satisfied that they are taking all those very sensitive issues into consideration, and they're taking their time to make sure it is done right. That concludes this week's update. As always, if you have any local issues that you want to bring to my attention, please do get in touch. Email's the best way to communicate with me at paul.deach, that's DEACH, at surreycc.gov.uk.